Bill McIntosh teaches AI non-stop. Success is his game, marketing's his fame. McIntosh, the marketing ace, follow his lead to the winning place. With AI become a spin, join him now, learn to win. Learn his way, don't delay. If you do, you'll make your fortune today.
How's that for some cheese? There you go. my cheesy intro there. So of course, created 100% with AI. The music, the audio, the script was written by AI, the whole darn thing. So as you know, I'm on an AI kick these days, and that is that I'm all in when it comes to using this technology to build and grow my businesses. And today I have a guest I'll be bringing on in a moment who is all in with me. And he's a guy that goes back quite a long ways. In fact, my special guest, we're going to be doing an interview. So this is kind of not a traditional like sales webinar or some kind of a promotion, although he does have a launch going on. He has a product that he is releasing. So we will be sharing an affiliate link for that a little bit later. And of course, if you choose to join him in his new AI tool and launch, I will receive a commission for that. So full disclosure on that. So this is an affiliate promotion. But that being said, the guest that I'm going to bring on is somebody who has had a massive influence on me and my businesses over the years. In fact, I can easily say that some of what I have learned from him has resulted in millions of dollars in additional revenue for my businesses. So this guy, he walks the walk, talks the talk, and he knows what he's doing. And so I'm going to bring him on in a moment. But he's right in the middle of launching an AI tool of his own. And it's impressive. It is really impressive. And so we're going to talk about that AI tool. He's going to get a chance to show it off, show you what it does. But before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about the best uses of AI, what you should be using it for, what you should not be using it for, maybe a little bit of inside info on what's working right now, what tools to use, and so on. So my special guest, we'll bring him on here, is none other than Mike Filsaime. Hey, Mike. Uh-oh, he's frozen. Oh, we lost. Oh, gosh. Okay, we'll wait for Mike to come back. All that build up, and then he's frozen. Okay, well, Mike's coming back on as soon as he jumps in, and we will, I'm going to be doing an interview with Mike, and we're going to be talking about, of course, his new software that he is in pre-launch for, that is pretty darn impressive, as well as, hey, is that him? He is back. We lost you. Oh, now I don't get your mic. No audio. Still no audio.
Okay, now we're good. We're good, right? You hear me?
Yep, I hear
okay.
you. All right. You guys all hear
my
Mike?
internet went out. My internet just went out, just like that. You were doing the intro, talking about your cheesy AI intro you were talking about, and all of a sudden, like, I couldn't get a single website going, and then it came back. So apologies, everybody, but we're here. We're here.
That's all right. That's all right. So, and it's the classic question: are you live? So I think that proves it right there.
that proves it for sure.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Mike. And I don't think I've ever really talked to you about this, but going back in the day, remember butterfly marketing? Like back a ways probably. So the training you did with that is something that I really absorbed and implemented in my businesses. And in fact, the ideas I got from it spawned entire products and really set my business on a different path. So I want to, as we kick this off, I want to thank you for that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that was, Bill, that was 17 years ago today, or actually 19 years ago when I bought the domain. I bought the domain, Butterfly Marketing. It can be verified. You just go to Namecheap and you'll see August 31st of 2004. John Reese released a report. So John Reese does Traffic Secrets, August 5th of 2004. And he does $1 million in a day. And about 3 weeks later, on August 31st, he releases a report titled "One Man, One Product, $1 million one day." And he talks about the whole launch. And, he said he never set out to do $1 million. And there was somebody that was with him at his house and said, you're selling this product for $997. If we get 1,000 people to buy it in one day, that's $1 million in a day. And it shifted the mind of doing a product launch to breaking history and doing $1 million in a day. And, it's interesting when you look at it that way. All the JV partners in the world, you have $1,000 product. If you've got every JV partner in the world to mail the hell out of something for you, especially back then when it wasn't popular. So shows up on my door is this box. I'm like, what is this? And I open it up. I'm like, it was like, like the glowing scene from Pulp Fiction, golden face shows up and I'm like, wow, traffic secrets. And I read a letter from John Reese. Reciprocity kicks in. I've got this guy telling me I can have this for free if I promote. I was just about to say I'm posting on social media. It didn't even exist, right? So, but I'm happy as anybody else out there. And then I promote. Everybody promotes. And John Reese tells a story how his father was there, and his father was putting on the whiteboard every hour where they were, and that they hadn't had a sale in 11 minutes at the end, and they were stuck at 999 units at 11:49 p.m. And then all of a sudden, with like 40 seconds to go, true story, that last sale comes in at the shopping cart and hits 1,000 sales at $1,000, and he does $1 million in a day, and he makes this history, and he writes the report. And I read the report on August 31st, 2004. It inspired me. He said, I believe this is like Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile. I think this is going to be commonplace. There'll be more $1 million launches, and I hope it inspires you. And I had this idea for a project, but I was like, that's it. I registered the domain name Butterfly Marketing that day. And that was August 31st of 2004. And Butterfly Marketing went live on January 31st of 2006. So I was the second person to do $1 million launch. And it didn't happen for a year and a half later. And then right when I did it, because everybody else was, was racing, it was like the race for the atomic bomb, right? Everybody else was doing it at the same time. StomperNet did it. Nitro Marketing did it. Jeff Walker did it with Product Launch Formula. There were like 6 more $1 million launches that followed within 4 or 5 months after that. And then Jeff Walker was mentioned in John's report as the guy behind the scenes that taught him how to do this. And John told him, you need to turn this into a product. And today the brand PLF, Product Launch Formula, the book, everything, this $100 million brand happened because John Reese was like, you should teach this. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Well, it's funny how it passes from one person. It's almost like almost a viral thing in and of itself, right? So John Reese inspired you. You inspired me, right? I'm sure I've in turn inspired others. It just keeps passing it on. So yeah. So yeah, in fact, in Butterfly Marketing, in getting that product and and going through the training that came with it, that's what really kind of gave me the kernel that inspired Contest Burner, which was my first IM internet marketing launch. So yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. The whole concept of of viral, free and viral, was the big hook behind Butterfly Marketing.
So now let's jump 20 years further into the future, or almost, and let's talk about what's going on today. Because you and I thought we were awesome when we would put these PHP scripts together and figure out how to do viral marketing, right? And then what's going on today in AI makes that look like child's play. So let's talk about that. So I noticed that you're all in with AI, just like I am, and
all in, especially after the last 6 months, how much stuff came on, but I'll let you finish your thought there. But the amount of YouTube videos that I watch every single day, it was crazy at the beginning because everybody was sharing everything. And it was like, hey, did you hear about this? And then I had to shut down that noise because there was too much. It was like, yeah, everybody's got a new tool out. But I started really trying to understand what's going on with neural networks, with dimensionality, with all the stuff that it goes into training a model, parameters, what's going on with that stuff, and then understanding what's going on between images and video and text and all these different things that were going out there. But I'm fascinated by it, like you can't believe.
It's funny. Well, I have my youngest son. He's currently getting his master's in data science and, particularly in machine learning and AI.
Wow.
And I would say probably a year ago, he was telling me about, he would tell me about all the advanced math and about, I'm doing this project and, there's this neural network and it does this and it does. And oh my God, it was just confusing. And then not too long after he was telling me all about the stuff he's working on is really when I began to see it starting to pop up online and some of the tools starting to come online. And then finally it clicked. And I just realized that when it comes to the whole world is about to change. And I don't think that's an exaggeration at all. I really think we're at the very tip of a massive change because of this technology. And it finally clicked for me that in business, there are so many things that were expensive and time consuming and or impossible for especially for smaller businesses or newer entrepreneurs to do. And now all of it can be done in a few minutes with some of these tools.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I have a long presentation that I do sometimes when I talk about this. And one of the slides on there it's a calculator for words, when you look at the NASA mission and in the movie Hidden Figures, when the woman was standing on the ladder, that had wheels, and it was this 2-story chalkboard where literally an 11-year-old kid today can solve a problem in a 1/10 of a second that took a team of the brightest minds 6 weeks to work out, and the kids is going to be right and theirs might be wrong. Right. They if one little thing was wrong in the chalkboard. And so we've always had that ability for math since the calculator came out. But when it came to thought, creativity, we can understand marketing, we can know what works. But when it came down to us staring at the computer, there was no calculator for words. We had to come up with the headline, the copy. It seems so weird to say this now because I can't think without using AI. Everything I do is opening up AI to make it better, rewrite it, make it better. And it's a calculator for words. Up until now, we always had to just write it our way. And as you said, you started seeing the hints of it come out. I did too. I remember showing up on a Zoom call with somebody and there was a note taker and it was fireflies. And I was like, oh, wow. This is pretty interesting. And then I got an account and it was transcribing all of my meetings and giving me action items. And I was like, I was blown away. I'm a lot less impressed by tools today because everybody understands these tools are dime a dozen. But I'll say this. I was at WebinarCon, just WebinarCon. That's to show you the change. That was just October of last year. And there was a speaker speaking on stage, and I'm walking out to get a coffee, and Sean Vasa goes, Mike, I'm trying to be a little quiet. There's a speaker speaking. Come here, sit down next to me. I'm like, sure, what's going on? He goes, hey, take a look at my screen. I said, okay. He goes, watch this. And he types in, write an email to promote Groove.cm. And all of a sudden, it was the first time I'd seen Jasper actually do. I heard about it, but I remember when it first came out, it was using GPT-2, and it was people like, John Benson, everybody, it can create a headline, but it can't write copy. And then suddenly I see it writing copy. And whether or not it was good or not didn't matter. It was good and great didn't matter. I was like, wow, the speed of thought here. Funny note, Jasper raises 100. They come out in January of 2021. In November 10th of I laugh because November 10th of 2022, they raise $125 million on a $1.5 billion valuation on November 10th. And November 30th, ChatGPT comes out. And those investors must have looked at Jasper, like they created this world's greatest tool. We're giving you all of our money. Honey, empty out the bank account. This is the future. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're just a user interface company around OpenAI. And I realized that as well. And for me, Now I'm going into the back end on platform.ai and OpenAI, and I'm learning about stability.ai, and everybody's getting into Google, Bard, Anthropic, and NVIDIA, and all these different things. And the AI wars are on. And I'm like, okay, as Bill Gates says, this is the fourth major technological advance of his lifetime, and he sees it as the biggest. In the 1950s, it was basically the transistor, which created the microchip and personal computer. That's one. And then after that, it was the internet in the late 1990s. And then after that, it was mobile computing. The iPhone came out, mobile computing changed the world, apps, everything. And now it's AI, and it's probably the biggest leap, as you said. We're at the foot of the hockey stick right now, where our children and grandchildren are going to be growing up in, like, I'll just give you just one thing, and we don't go down that rabbit hole. But if we start approaching this singularity in the next 10 years, what happens when right now we are definitely with biohacking extending life, and then if we really extend life to like 400 years, right? And then we stop the aging process, and now we reverse the aging process, which can happen. It's scientifically possible. And all of a sudden we're all walking around in our prime, at 27 years old. And then we're going to live in a world where you need to have a lottery ticket to have children, because we're at 15 billion people and nobody's dying, nobody's retiring. And somebody gets hit by a bus. Okay, Jim and Donna, you can now bring a kid into this world.
It sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, right? But yeah, I think you're right.
And that's just one thing, solving the world's hunger problem, all these different things. So that's a whole nother conversation. We're obviously digital marketers.
I want to interrupt you for a second here, because for two reasons. So first up, everybody here, I know a lot of you are here to learn some money-making ideas of how can you use AI to get into actually making money. And Mike and I are just about to get into that. So if you're here waiting for that good stuff, it's coming up around the corner. But before we get to that, I want to talk about AI is something that I see so many people misunderstanding what it is and people being afraid of it. It should be banned. You shouldn't use it. It's going to kill people's jobs. It's all a lot of different aspects of fear. And I think it comes because people don't understand what the technology is. And if we boil it down to its simplicity, right? You talked about it earlier. It's really just math for words is essentially what it is. It's a computer using math calculations. It's some pretty crazy advanced math, but it's just a math calculation of a computer trying to do the math to figure out what would a human say, right? And there's no like self-awareness. There's no like at all, or consciousness, whatever you want to call that. It's just a big calculator is really what it is. And I just don't think a lot of people realize that, So what do you think about this? So some of the confusion and fear that you see attached to AI.
So here's the thing. It has dimensionality, right? And so let me explain what dimensionality is. And these, so Bill, like I went to school in 1986, for computer science. Well, the very first thing written on the board by my instructor was the computer will always do what you tell it to do, which is not always what you want it to do. Right. And which means it follows instructions. It's a central processor, and it goes down, finds an if then. If it's greater than 55, go this way. If not, and it just followed instructions. AI was the first time we had something in computing that broke it. It was Frankenstein. We turned the power on and we didn't know what we're going to get. And that's why if you and I do this podcast in a week, we can say the same thing. We're just going to use different words. That's what AI is. That's why you'll get a different output and I'll get a different output. The thing with AI is that it now has the ability to process and understand, because the way they created this language model is they put things in different domains. A mouse is closer to a rat than it is a giraffe, but the three of them are closer to a rock, and a rock is closer to a piece of coal. And so it learned how to create all of these different things and create meaning. But what was interesting is the leaps in dimensionality, right? They're using dimensionality instead of consciousness, because you can't describe consciousness. And no matter what you do, we're always going to say, but it's not human, right? So that we can just simplify this. Only humans can have human consciousness. Great. So what are computers getting close to? What they call dimensionality. And dimensionality means ChatGPT 3.5. You ask it this question: there are 50 murderers in a room. if you go in there and kill one of them, how many are left? ChatGPT 3.5 says, well, if there are 50 and you killed one, there's 49. So the answer is 49. ChatGPT 4, because of dimensionality, is not just predicting words. And this is what they didn't expect. It's actually understanding meaning before it processes, like a calculator, input, output. Now it's processing and it's doing this. It's putting its hand on its chin. It's going, wait before we answer that. Okay, so there's 50 murdered in a room, and you go and kill one, and that's 49, but you just became a murderer. So now there's 50. Answer 50, right? And so these are the things, the quote unquote IQ test that they didn't understand. But now, if we go into good and evil, what we have to understand, and we'll get onto the good stuff in a minute, and I'll say this in 30 seconds, is that good and evil is a human construct, right? Evil doesn't exist outside of humans. Meaning, if a lion kills a baby, wildebeest, that's not evil. We say, well, that just says that's nature. And if a black hole sucks in an entire planet and solar system and kills billions of people, we don't say that's evil. We just say, hey, that's the world works. So we've created evil. And so an AI platform literally is tuned a certain way. And when we had the atom bomb and the H bomb, that is, again, is that evil, or is it, no, it's good for creating energy, but if it's used poorly, we just made a movie about it, Oppenheimer, right? It can the destroyer of worlds, right? So it's the same thing now with AI. The thing is, we now have AI without uranium and without the need to let the world know that you just tested it because a big bomb went off. So now with Meta releasing open source models, yes, somebody can take AI and make it bad, but AI that's trained bad, it's not inherently evil. It's the human behind it that says, I want you to go out there and find a way to hack into the nuclear codes, right? So yeah. Is it the AI that's evil? No, it's the people that are behind it that are evil.
Yeah. Well, it's no different, like, break out a hammer out of a toolbox and use it to smash something. Is the hammer evil? Right. No.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't have the consciousness in that way. It is what we have right now is we have a sleeping, all-knowing God that when you type a prompt, it wakes up and it says, oh, answer that question, and goes back to sleep. What people are worried about in the future is what they call these auto GPTs that basically are goal-driven, and they will not stop, like the Terminator, until it reaches its goal. But in that sense, the Terminator wasn't evil. It was an AI that was goal-driven, and it's very Machiavellian in its pursuit, and it will do whatever it has to do to achieve its goal without any feeling. It's no love. That doesn't feel good, doesn't feel bad, doesn't get angry.
Well, look, the Terminator was reprogrammed to be good, right?
Exactly.
Protect John Connor. So
the guardrails were slightly changed, and one day he's good, right? And then at a point he could have been switched. So yeah. So obviously that's a talk for a whole nother podcast, and so I could easily talk for about 2 hours on that. I love that, but as you said, we want to respect.
Let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk about how we use AI to make some money. And you and I have had kind of two different approaches. Each of us have AI tools that we're releasing. We have two different approaches to how we're using AI. And in your case, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like with Groove, you're really focused on copy and being able to create sales processes and sales funnels and helping people sell their stuff, I guess is the best way to put that. Is that at least from the outside looking in, that's what it seems like. Is that a...
Yeah. So first off, Groove isn't an AI tool killer, right? So it's a workflow for a particular type of work. So great point. So the first thing I want to say is I promoted your product 2 or 3 times. I love it. And I think that our customers should just have both. And people even see my tool and say, do I still need ChatGPT? I'm like, of course. Even me, when I have a problem, I'm trying to figure out my AirPods keep switching from my computer back to my phone when I'm not going to go to Groove and I'm just going to go to ChatGPT and do that. So what I like to say is that we have to look at ChatGPT as a Google Sheet spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel. So let's just call it Google Sheets for now. And so what we're currently seeing right now, Bill, is that in this metaphor is that we have this really powerful Google Sheets. It's kind of complex, right? Google Sheets, you've got to put in equals and all this. And what's happening now in this metaphor is there's a whole world of people. They're saying, hey, I'm going to show you an entire spreadsheet that I created that can create accounting software. right? Before Quicken, right? And now what I've done is I've taken the engine of Google Sheets in this metaphor and said, well, I've created all the power there, but I've created a user interface and I've called it Quicken. And now somebody else is going to be, yeah, I did one, and mine is for the point of sale system for a restaurant or for somebody at a market. So that's really what happened is the way I look at it is that ChatGPT is kind of like this like engine. And what we did is we built upon it the way Quicken would on top of a spreadsheet. And so our focus is for digital marketers and agencies to be able to write their blogs, write their email follow-up series, write their sales letters, their video sales letter. Basically, if you were doing a campaign, right, and you hired somebody and you paid them $25,000 and they interviewed you for 6 hours and said, okay, Bill, I'm going to be back in about 45 days. And then they gave you your sales page copy, your VSL copy, your landing page, your thank you page, your cart abandonment sequence, the stick strategy when they buy, the onboarding, your affiliate swipes and everything. They gave you like a Google Doc with like 50 different things. That for that solopreneur that needs to do that work because they don't want to hire a copywriter, or the copywriter, or an agency, or a CEO of a company, or even a small company, somebody like you that's, I'm going to buy this tool for my copywriter on my team, or a copywriter that says, man, this is going to make my job so much easier, or content creator. That's what this tool is for. It's and I'll say this, and maybe we'll show a demo of it. Here's what happened, in my opinion. Jasper, by the way, I'm just stating facts, right? There's blogs about this. Jasper's crashing, right? Their investors are unhappy. Why? Because they did it the same way you or I would have done it before ChatGPT. They created these task-driven things. And it's like, what is your topic? And it says, and you'll say socialism. And it says, what is the title? And what are the keywords? And what is the tone? Conversational. And then it writes it. And the blog post is so generic and banal. It's like, it says, socialism is a controversial topic. While the proponents say that blah, 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 the opponents will say, and you had nothing to do with that. I call that content autopilot. What we've done is created something called Content Copilot, which we'll be showing in just a minute. And the Content Copilot, the way that works is you could upload all of the information that you want into a knowledge base first. So you can find 6 YouTube videos, 2 of them suck. Now, these 4 are really good. Going to paste that URL into the knowledge base. It transcribes it, it adds it. Then you find another blog, something you wrote, a report you wrote, maybe a book you wrote. You start adding all of these things into the knowledge base. And you can record an audio file, add it in there. Here's a podcast of 2 other people. Now you have something that aligns with either your methodology or ideology, right? And now you've got a knowledge base, and now you could say to ChatGPT, write me a top 10 list, write me this, give me an outline, give me a webinar. And you can now slide it from its real world knowledge, means don't use anything in that knowledge base. Or if you slide it all the way to 100, you ask it how to bake a cake, it's going to go, I'm sorry, it's not in the knowledge base, which means all of the content you're going to be rewriting is based on you. And then you can, hours, lets you choose a role, lets you choose a role like in the style of Dan Kennedy. It asks you the target market. It asks you the avatar of that target market, asks you what is the goal, what is the tone, the style, all of these different things. So what we say at this point is all the prompt engineering is taking place by the time you add all these settings. So all you've got to do now is add the protein.
Well, I like the idea that this idea of a co-pilot, and that really helps me understand a little bit too about your tool. So it's like the AI is working collaboratively with you to help create your content. I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, because what is a co-pilot, right? If it's a computer, right? I'm the pilot. I still choose what day I'm leaving, what time I'm leaving, what airport I'm leaving from, what airport I'm landing at. What time we go off, what altitude we're flying, and what speed. And I use the co-pilot to just say, adjust, hold at 30,000 feet, lower to 20,000 feet, but I'm still in charge. So with ours, when you look at the output of something like copy.ai or jasper.ai, they create outline talking points, but you didn't write anything there. And what I've noticed when ChatGPT came out, anything that I finished, I said, I wrote that. I would say, Donna, here's the swipe I just wrote. But what I did is I used ChatGPT to do it, but then I found all of the faults with ChatGPT. Number one, it has no search. I'm sitting there scrolling. I'm trying to go back a month trying to find that prompt, right? You can't search. When you open it, you try to copy and paste anything into a Google Doc, the formatting gets lost. So why even bother telling it to do it in H1 and bold and all that? Because you can't get that content out of it. You can't share it. And if you share it with ShareGPT, if you add anything to it, it's not updated. So there's no collaboration unless you want to share your email address with someone. So it's not something that is easy for teams. So you have to fragment it and now start pasting things in Google Docs, but your chat and your Google Doc are separated. And 3 days later, it might be hard to remember which chat went with which Google Doc. So that's essentially what we've created as also as a collaboration tool for teams, so that teams and agencies.
Cool. Well, and also, so a little bit about my audience. I basically got two kinds of people in the audience, and I think Groove.ai is good for both of them. And so I want to describe that a little bit, and then give you a chance to kind of explain Groove.ai, talk about your launch, and
Sure.
let's give people a chance to get it, because let's get into it. So basically, we have two people, right? One type of person is
let's just say this, Bill, because the checkout takes 30 seconds. God forbid somebody's listening and they got so excited and bought. Bill has something special for you. If you do want to check it out, you want to go to groove.ai/Bill. All right. And that just tracks it. Open transparency. A YouTuber will say, hey, if you like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we do the same thing here. If you want to support Bill, we want you to go to groove.ai/Bill. And then any additional trainings Bill and I are going to do are going to be tracked to that sale, or bonuses in the future, etc. But other than that, it's the same exact thing. But go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And so when you do buy through that link, I do have a bonus that I'm going to be offering for anybody who does sign up to Groove. It's during this, Mike is doing kind of a pre-sale launch right now, and you get to be a backer of the software that's about to be released. And if you do join through my link, I do have some bonuses. And as an example, one of them, we're going to go through the arsenal of tools that me and my team are using right now in my business. So exactly which tools we're using, how we're using them, how we're creating content like that corny intro singing guy at the beginning of my show. We've done commercials, and promotions of all different kinds using AI for video, for audio, for songs, for you name it. And we're going to go into details showing you each tool we're using, how we're using it, the prompts that we're using. And then we're going to talk about how to best use Groove.ai as well for building your business. And that's an exclusive bonus when you join through my link. And there are two kinds of people that I think can really benefit from joining Groove. The first one is a newer entrepreneur, because I think there's a few challenges you have as someone who's new at entrepreneurship. First, you have to have something to sell, right? And we're not going to solve that today. That's some of the stuff that I can help you with and teach you about later, like creating products and figuring out products. But you ultimately have to sell that thing. And that means sales funnels. That means sales letters. That means video sales scripts. That means video sales letters, landing pages, thank you pages, squeeze pages, all this stuff. And I think for newer entrepreneurs, it's just completely overwhelming. What tool do you use? How do you write it? How do you make sure you're using the right kind of persuasion and sales and copywriting? And with Groove.ai, it just helps you through that. It helps make that a painless process using Mike's tools. And so I think it can really help someone who's newer in their entrepreneur journey. As soon as you have something that you can actually sell and try to collect money for, Mike's tool is amazing to help you leap over over the hurdles and get to the other side of actually having your product with great sales processes and great sales funnels to sell them. So it's phenomenal for that. And then second, a lot of people who follow me already have something going on. You've got a business and you're just trying to figure out how to make it better, bigger, faster, get more profit in the door, make your business more efficient. And again, for you, Groove.ai is also a phenomenal tool. So I just wanted the audience to know, everybody who watches this, that if you're in either of those situations, I completely endorse and recommend that you jump in and become a backer of Groove, because that's how it's going to help you. And Mike, I'm going to get out of your way and let you take it from here.
So I'll click the present button, share my screen. Does that sound good? We'll jump right in.
Yeah, go ahead. We can put it full screen. Yeah, if you.
I'm going to do entire screen. We're going to get that little feedback, and you should be seeing my screen right now. We could add it to the stream. All right,
there we go.
So I've been doing a lot of demos here, so you're going to see a couple of different projects and stuff like that. But this demo we're going to call Bill. All right. So Bill, the first thing I want to let everybody know is that we have something called a knowledge base, as we were just showing before. So let me show you an example of a knowledge base in action first, everyone. So there's a company called chatbase.co. And what you're going to be seeing here, Groove.ai is going to be doing for you as well. But I want to show you how this works with a knowledge base, right? So remember before I was telling you that you could upload different things and train a knowledge base. Well, I have a little widget like this at the corner of every one of my websites for Groove.cm, Groove.ai, FitClass, Groove Agency, and my mastermind. Let's just look at the one that I have for Groove.cm. Okay, so if we go to Groove.cm and take a look at it in action, you're going to see I have that little widget right here. And when I click on it, I can have a conversation with AI, with the knowledge base. But let's see how I built it, right? So the first thing you do is you have to educate the knowledge base. You have to add sources. The best way to do it is you start with a website. And everything I'm showing you, you can do at Groove.ai. I want to show you in action on my website. So first thing I did is I put in Groove.cm, and I put in Groove Digital and Groove Pay. And look at what it does. It says crawl, right? I'll make my browser a little bigger so you can see. And it went and it found, I'm going to grab the scroll bar here on the right, and it found every single website URL at my help desk. It read my support articles. It read everything. Guys, I'm not even halfway through, so I'm just going to scroll all the way down. I think you get it. And when we get to the bottom, it says it found 1.8 million characters that I trained this bot on. Next, I can paste in text, and I can also give some information because maybe, you know, it has some information about my product from real world knowledge. I wanted to know my most current price plans. I can also upload files, a PDF, a document, or text file. With Groove, we can do even more. We can do YouTube URLs and audio. All right. And so once you're done, you then go to the dashboard here, or the settings, I mean, and then you tell it like you would a system prompt. Act like a friendly sales rep for Groove, right? Also act as a customer support agent. Refuse to answer any question unrelated to the information. And, you know, just a couple of other things. If the customer asks this, then send them to our help desk. You know, just little things that I tweaked it when I saw the answers weren't exactly the way I wanted. I now go here. I get the embed, right? I grab this little embed code. And what do? I put it on my webpage. So let's test it out. How do you bake a cake? Remember when I was talking about socialism before, right? If you ask the knowledge base, how do you bake a cake? If it's not related to that knowledge base, look what happens. It says, I'm not sure, but I can definitely help you if you have any question about Groove. All right. So now remember, I told it to always make sure Groove is treated favorable with my competitors. What is better, ClickFunnels or Groove? Right. So here we go. I'm glad you asked. Groove.cm is definitely the superior platform. Here's why. Okay, great. Let's see, can it do support? How do you animate a button on the Groove pages canvas? Now it can answer my support as well. I can ask it pricing information, everything. Look at this. Was this helpful? No, not helpful. Right? So then it says, oh, I'm sorry. Here's a link to our support desk, right? And so what we also did, and then we'll wrap up here, is I also added it to my my logged in members area. And when somebody logged in the past, they used to get this right here. Okay, this old school Zendesk Help Scout widget, you know, where they had to, you know, sort through articles before they get to a human. Now they can just come right here and ask a question like, how do I connect my domain on Namecheap? And it gives step-by-step instructions. We've reduced our help desk tickets by 28% and actually increased sales on our front end. Okay, so I think you get that. So I wanted you to know that you can do that with Groove. You can create a knowledge base, okay? And we're just gonna call this knowledge base Bill, just for now. And now we're gonna go into here, into Bill M, and you could upload files. As I said, you could add YouTube URLs, you could add audio files. Now, PDFs, documents, text files, up to 5 megabytes. just so you know, folks, the Bible is 4.2 megabytes. War and Peace is 4.1 megabytes. The Great Gatsby, 800 kilobytes. So you could upload as many of these as you want at a time. So to give you an example of, let's go to my YouTube channel here and go to the official Groove.cm official channel. And we're going to grab a very, very long webinar from here. Okay. And so I'll go to my live because that's usually where we have some long webinars. And you can find, here's a 2 hour and 28-minute video. We're going to grab this URL. And now ours automatically does this for you, but I want to show you how we're doing it. So I'm going to go to something called YouTubetranscript.com. And you can put in a URL for any YouTube video. And look at this. It instantly gives you the transcript. So we could copy that transcript. And as I said, we do this automatic for you, but I want to show you what's going on in the background. I'm going to open up a text file, create a new one, just paste that in there. And I'm just going to save that as August live stream, right? Now that that's saved, I can now add that to the knowledge base just like this. There it is, August live stream, right? But I'm also going to add a few more. Here's one from a webinar that I recently did, etc. And I can add as many of these files as we want. Now I've got, 3 1-hour webinars that, that were added here. When I'm done, I click on index knowledge base and it'll index it. It takes about 10 minutes, but we're not going to wait for that. But I think you get the point, right? So let's go back to the dashboard. I want to show you just a couple of things.
Mike, just to interrupt you for a second. Yeah. So as I'm thinking about this, there's 2 ways that someone could use this knowledge base, obviously, right? So one is like an example you showed of support and trying to make customer service and support efficient and helpful to the user. But man, you could turn this into a selling machine, right?
Oh, absolutely. There are people right now, Bill, that are cloning themselves and say, talk to Mike Filsaime 24 hours a day. And, you upload, everything that you've ever written into a knowledge base and it will answer. If you were to search YouTube right now, the hottest topic right now, if we were talking quote unquote biz op for a techie person, is how to start your own AI chatbot business. You find somebody and you could build this chatbot the way that I just showed you. You probably want to wait a week because you can do it in 10 minutes. And then you could charge them $5,000 one time to build this. Most people don't know these technologies exist. And you could build it with Groove.ai as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So now we're going to get, I'm just going to show you just some little things here. In the preferences, Bill, we've got, dark mode. You can switch to dark mode at any time. You can switch to, different colors here, your brand colors, etc. I like dark mode better, but it just demos better in light mode. So I'm going to do that. Also here we have German, Portuguese, and Spanish because we just wanted to show examples. When this goes live for everyone, September 15th, any backer that buys it now, they're going to get about 15 different languages. So it'll have German, French, Russian, Mandarin, you name it. All the languages are going to be there. And what that means is not the output. The output could be output in any language. But if you click here, you're going to see the entire user interface just went into German. So hopefully I can navigate my way back and find where that was and switch it back to English. So this works in any single language that you want to operate. But let's get to the exciting part. Let's create a project. This is where Groove.ai shines. So we're going to create a project. This project is something that we can share with our team. We're going to call it Bill McIntosh, Bill M. And we're going to dive in. All right. Immediately, Bill, what you're seeing came out of my workflow using ChatGPT, the same way you use a workflow with ChatGPT. The first thing you notice, number one, is that we have a search. So when you're using ChatGPT, this is what I was talking about before. You end up doing this. You go, where in the world was that friggin' thing that I worked on where I got that really cool prompt? And just look at this. There's not a search feature in ChatGPT, if you could actually imagine that. The other problem that you get is you get this terrible thing when you go like this, right? You copy this information, you open up a Google document, just like this, and then you paste and you get this. And you're like, ugh, no. All right, let's do it this way. Paste without formatting, and now you lost all of the H1 bolded tags and everything. So what do? You think, oh, they gave me this right here where I can click the copy feature. No, You copy, and it gives you the tags in what's called markup. But look at this with ours. Whether you got the chat from ChatGPT, which you won't because you're going to be using Groove.ai, but I just want to show you ours copies over in both formats into our built-in document editor. And even if you copy it like this, well, let's actually do it here where you get these H1 tags and all that stuff. If we send it over in markup, you're going to notice that it translates the markup. This is a markup editor. So number one, we have search. Number two, we have better formatting. Number three is you can go into the settings here and you can share this, Bill, 5 different ways. Way number one is I can share this with you, Bill McIntosh, or anybody by adding your email address, and I give you quote unquote admin settings. That means that you can go in here and you can actually click on delete, and you can modify, you can add, you're just like me at that point. The next thing that I can do is I can treat it like a Google Doc. I can say, add your email and invite you as an editor. So you can't delete things, you can't break things, but you can add more things into here and you can type and things like that. Or I can give you read only or view only permissions, edit or view, right? And then the next one that we have is what we call client view, right? So client view would eliminate the presets and the formatting on the left, and it eliminates the chat. And all they get is here. So what I'm going to show you, Bill, is let's say that we call this landing page. Right, that's the landing page copy. I'm going to rename this one. We're going to call this AF Swipe 1. That's the affiliate swipe 1. We're going to create another one here. We're going to call this affiliate swipe 2. Right, and we're going to create another one here. We're going to call this one the blog post. And let's just create one more thing that we're going to need here. We're going to call this whatever, pop-up copy. Right. So what you're seeing, Bill, is something that you could share with somebody on your team as an asset for a particular funnel project that you're working on, or with your client, all built out. And you could give him read or write permission to do that. So let's go back to the normal view here that you're greeted with. Let's also go in here and add the knowledge base that we just added. Isn't that like so exciting? So your question is, does ChatGPT have a knowledge base? No, it does not. Or does it? It actually does. Look at this right here. It's called a plugin. So if you're a Plus user, you may have seen this. You go into the plugin store, and here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We click on all. There are 106 times 8. There's 848 plugins available. And what are they? They're essentially knowledge bases. But the problem is you've got to become a developer to use it. And if you add anything to here, it's public and anybody could use it. But essentially, if you've ever thought, what is a knowledge base? When like somebody says, oh, ask your PDF or chat with PGF, or basically what they're doing is that they've created a database. And what is a database? It's just a bunch of text, thrown in there that you can have a conversation with, right? Let me show you another thing that we have as developers. That it's called a system prompt. All right. So if I type in here, act like an angry William Shakespeare. Spell that right? No, Shakespeare, right? Who answers everything with a riddle and rhymes. Okay, watch this. Who is Ben Franklin? Okay, now what I want to let you know is that I have now added a personality to the system. Now you're going to say, well, Mike, we can do that with ChatGPT. Yes and no. With ChatGPT, when you do it and you say, act like an angry William Shakespeare that rhymes, who is Ben Franklin? Well, here's what happens. This is now in what's known as the prompt section. And these platforms have what's called a context window. Bill, I'm sure you've dealt with this before because you learned that this is actually not a program. This is a language model. And essentially, the language model is like it's Albert Einstein with dementia. No, I'm not making fun of dementia. I'm using this as a reason for you to understand why you never want to get mad at the language model for not following your instructions. Okay. And I'm saying Albert Einstein with dementia for a reason. Number one, Albert Einstein is brilliant, and Albert Einstein with dementia will still be brilliant, but he has a problem with short-term memory. Okay. So what happens is, and by the way, we have family members that have passed away with dementia. I'm using this as somebody that understands it. It's a very sad thing. So if you were to talk to somebody with dementia and they would say to you, so Mike, I hear you're going on vacation next week. Where you would go? If you said, Grandma, you literally just asked me that question a minute ago. Somebody would say to you, Mike, you're being very insensitive. And you are. So if you talk to ChatGPT and you ask it to give you output in bullets, Bill, have you ever done this? Ask it to give you output in bold, bullets, and all this stuff. And then as you're having a conversation with it, it starts forgetting some of that stuff. And you're like, hey, remember, the output was supposed to be in bold with bullets. And it says, oh, yes, I'm sorry. And then it does it right. But then it gets something else wrong. What happens
I've noticed that a lot. Yeah, the longer I talk to it, the weirder the responses get.
Right. So what I have this thing right here on my slides right here that I show people. And it's right here. And it'll make more sense. Let me just see here. So right here. Okay. This is who you're chatting with. Lenny from Memento. If you haven't seen that movie, then Drew Barrymore in 50 First Dates. She goes to bed with her husband, wakes up the next day. Who's in my bed? All right. And Lenny from Memento, he can't keep a memory for more than 4 minutes. So when you are talking to Lenny and you say, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom, and you come back in 4 minutes, Lenny's going to go, excuse me, who are you? What are you doing in my house? You say, Lenny, I'm your friend. Look at the Polaroid picture. You're going to see, okay. Did I tell you I have this condition? Yeah, Lenny, every time I see you, right? That is ChatGPT. Lenny remembers everything before he got hit on the head with his accident, but he can't form any new memories. That's the same problem you have with ChatGPT. The more I start having a conversation with this stuff starts getting memory hold. Now, we as developers have the ability to put something into the system, which means I can have a conversation with ChatGPT for the next 10 years. And I was able to attach this to its personality forever. All right. So I show you that for a reason there, guys, because again, it's something that we have the ability to do here to always get good output where we never have a problem. So now, Bill, I'm going to connect to an AI service. I'm going to use 3.5 because it demos faster, right? It just prints the copy faster. We want to show the demo a little quicker. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And as you see here, we have our different chats. Let me just make that go away. A little preset was bothering me. We have our chats up here like Chrome tabs rather than over here. So if I want to add a new chat at any time, I simply just go right here and I give it a new chat. I can rename it, but it's automatically going to be named by the chat once we have two conversations. Here's where we're going to have fun, Bill. Ready? I'm going to ask you, let's create a new preset. And over here, these different things that we have, it demos a little bit better if I just show you here. It's a little bit faster. Let's zoom in at 150%. So you can use any one of these role personas, default, or you could say act like a direct response copywriter, and then you can write like any one of these people. Or you could do an SEO expert, a blogger. You can write like Tim Ferriss, a press release writer, nonfiction author, article writer, news journalist. Like this is where you tell it like act like. We have all of these things automatically built in, right? So if you want to act like I think over here we saw a screenwriter. Well, you've got Quentin Tarantino, Aaron Sorkin, right? Nonfiction author or fiction author. You've got Stephen King or J.R.R. Tolkien, all the way down to all of these different things. So let's choose right here. We'll just choose direct response marketer, and we'll just for the sake, Dan Kennedy. Now, Bill, let's talk about your target market. Who is your target market? And then we're going to get to avatar. Avatar is where we get into their demographic data, like Generation X, millennial, technophobe, etc. But the audience might be e-commerce marketers, digital marketers, lawyers, right? And then we'll talk about what type of lawyer here. So who's your target market?
I guess we could say entrepreneurs. That might be a good.
Okay. Are they digital marketers?
Yeah. I would say digital marketers. That could work too.
And so we'll leave entrepreneurs and digital marketers, right? But not e-commerce marketers, right? They're not necessarily Shopify people, right?
Not necessarily e-com, no.
Right. So then we can say not Shopify, right? I'm just giving examples, for you to understand. Like, so it's gonna talk exactly to this person. It doesn't like the way I spelled entrepreneur.
Yeah, I can never spell that word right either.
Yeah, it won't even give me the friggin' right click on that. So, all right. So now let's talk about the avatar. Bill, if they showed up at your event or the people watching this podcast right now, describe them to me. Are they Generation Z? Are they tweens? Are they millennials? Are they Generation X, baby boomers?
Yeah, I think a lot of mine are Xers and into baby boomers. Yeah,
X and baby boomers. Okay, are they technophobes or technophiles, or in between?
Well, I'm trying to think about the best way to do this. My audience is such a mixed bag. It runs the gamut, but I would say.
Well, then we can even say some are non-techie, and some are tech geeks, right? It's okay because we're telling the AI how it's going to write to somebody, right? And so I recommend this, a 12th grade reading level. Now, rules, anything here is a rule that it must follow. I'm going to give an example. You're normally going to leave this blank. Bill, if I was writing something on funnels, I might say, never mention ClickFunnels. Watch this. Never mention ClickFunnels. And I just hit enter and watch what happens. I could add more rules now, right? Always be polite, right? But why I like to never mention ClickFunnels is if I'm writing a report on how to write a funnel, I don't need like step 3 being, and you could use easy tools like ClickFunnels, right? So I might say always mention Groove, blah 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 blah, right? So I'm adding this. Where am I adding it? I'm adding it into this. This is all going into this system prompt here. That I'm affixing to the personality, right? Okay. So let's now custom edition. What is this?
So in a lot of ways, this is like if you were to hire a freelancer and then give them instructions about how you want them to write. Is essentially what you're. Yeah.
Any copywriter would ask you these questions. Now, custom edition. What is this for, Bill? This is so that you and nobody on this call ever comes and says, "Mike, could you just add this one thing that I found gets me a better prompt?" Right? Yeah, sure. Just add it. Just put it right there. Right. So now when we're done, I'm just going to copy this in the avatar because it's going to ask me to name it. We're just going to put that as the name. Right. So there we go. I've got a preset. So now we could get to the sexy stuff. Let's select a preset. And I believe that is right here. That's yours. Okay. Now, Bill, what do we want to do? A blog post, an email, outline, headline, subject line, or any one of these pre-written things for VSLs, VSL sales letter, explainer videos, bullets. We're going to start here with blog posts. I want to show you why for a second. You're going to notice right here that, well, first of all, this right here, we have a dynamic section depending on what output you chose. So if we choose an email, well, do you want a subject line in the PS? Or an outline, a blog, do you want the blog title? Hell yeah. Give me, and this is all optimized to get you better clicks and SEO, right? You're also going to notice that you have something dynamic going on here. This is your framework. So everyone has normal if you don't want a framework. Even the default has different frameworks, attention, ADA, all these different things. So, but ADA doesn't apply to a blog post, right? A blog post is the most popular, which is a listicle. There's the how-to. Let's do a review. But if you notice, we have a lot of them, but we want these different things here. Okay. Let's keep the output short because this is a demo. Now, what tone do we want? Well, let's click more. And if you don't like these, let's say I want to do engaging and conversational. If you want to go custom, you type in anything that you want. But I'm just going to say, let's keep it engaging, conversational. And we're going to do a review. Bill, give me a popular tool out there, something like Trello or something like that.
A popular HubSpot, maybe.
Okay, HubSpot, great. So we're going to say we want this to be engaging, conversational, and for the hell of it, let's just go humorous, right? This is just a demo. Humorous might be something Frank Kern might like, right? Let's go to style. And now we have the same thing here. I'm going to choose a style. I'm going to tell it to be creative. And just for the goal here as well, I'm going to have the goal. This is an affiliate blog. So I want to generate sales, but I also want to get SEO here. And let's leave it at that. Now, the output, Bill, I'm going to leave it normal. But the markdown WYSIWYG means that it'll give me H1 bold, everything. Like it'll literally write it like with H1 and everything, right? The markdown is the code block. And, the code block is kind of like, when it's writing HTML and JavaScript. But for us, we always want one of these first two. I'm going to do it in normal. And then here, default, direct response, SEO, or creative. I'm going to leave it at SEO because I'm writing a blog. But what is this doing? This has nothing to do with this prompt here. It's not adding anything to the system prompt. What that's doing is all of this difficult stuff that you never want to mess with, right? Temperature, control randomness, right? Or look at this, top P. Controls diversity via nucleus sampling. Means half of all likelihood weighted.
Well, you always want a good nucleus sampling.
Yeah, right? Frequency penalty, presence penalty. Folks, you don't ever want to learn this stuff. I asked it, what are the best settings for SEO for these things? And it told me. I said, what are the best settings for direct response? And then there's something called creativity, where like it's telling a story. You want some of these settings higher. In direct response, you don't, right? So now you're going to get better output than you would ever get with ChatGPT because of this, right? And so, Bill, this is what I call adding the protein, right? What is the protein here? Well, the protein is HubSpot. And why do I say add the protein? The reason why I do that is this is your taco kit dinner, right? This is your, like if the protein means chicken, beef, turkey, lamb, goat, eggplant, egg, or tofu, right? Like this here is where we get the difference, the major difference between Kung Pao chicken and chicken franchise. Two completely different dishes. All you've got to do is put the protein in this metaphor, HubSpot. I don't have to write
spicy HubSpot.
Right. I don't have to say anything like act like a direct response marketer in the style of Dan Kennedy. We're writing to blah, 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 blah. And then every single time I start a new chat, oh God, it has no memory. We're dealing with, dementia patient, right? Lenny from Memento. It's starting all over. Act, right? And the way I type, right? Act like, oh my goodness, go to your Google Doc where you're keeping all your prompts. You don't. Oh yeah,
some of my prompts are like a couple of hundred words. So
yeah. So this is here. And by the way, if you want to add more to it, you can still add a little more prompt here. But for the most part, we got everything that we need. Watch this. Protein, HubSpot. There's my title. There's my keyword. There's my preview snippet. And there's my introduction written to the right target market who are Generation X baby boomers in the style of Dan Kennedy at a 12th grade reading level in this tone, this style, this goal, this, and it's short output, obviously, because I said short, right? And when I'm done, Bill, I can just select and copy and send it right over. Or I could just highlight this section and send it over, just like that. Now, I can do this. Watch this. I can say, I need an email to promote this. Create additional response. Look at that. Now there's my email, just like that. Now, watch this. If I ask a question, okay, is HubSpot free? Now, I'm going to have to hit stop generating real quick because I know what's going to happen. Watch this. What the hell is happening? Wait, stop generating. I asked the question. Oh, it's being told in the system prompt to put every output like a blog in this tone. And no. Let's chill out. Let's shut that off, right? Shut the formatting off. We're going into conversation mode. Is HubSpot free? Yes, it offers free. But here's the thing. It just wrote this like Dan Kennedy in a 12th grade reading level to the target market, etc. If I want to go full conversation mode, I shut that off too, the preset here, right? You follow? So that gives you that. All right.
Okay, so you can flip. You can just seamlessly flip back and forth between conversation.
Exactly. This is your prompt engineering here, and then you go into conversation mode. Now, let me just go over here. I want to just show you something else. We've got all the same settings still in here. I think a little bug here. This is three weeks out before anybody gets a hold of it. But let's say I want to do some bullets, right? Now, watch this, Bill. This is what I love the most. I like this feature, advantage, benefit of the benefit framework. So right here, I'm just going to create a new doc. No, we're just going to write it right into here. I'll put them at the end. We're just going to drop them here at the bottom. So let's make some room. We're going to put some bullets. But I could create a new document called Scratchpad bullet, but you get it, right? So now we're just going to protein, right? HubSpot, right? It's so weird not to say write me bullets, but it's doing it to that target audience for the goal of blah, 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 right? So I'm gonna switch this to direct response now. And because I want direct response bullets. When I reset to a new chat, it lost some of these different things here. So we're just gonna change the goal back to generate sales. And here we go. I've got my feature, advantage, benefit of the benefit framework. We're adding a little tick box to imply these things so it doesn't actually break it down. It'll give you more natural copy. But give me 10. All right. So, oh, wait a second. Oh, that's a little bug. Oh, I see. Duh. I didn't give the protein. Give me, let's do 5, right? For HubSpot. All right. So I think I broke it here. Let's, once I did it without, let me just fix that.
Maybe because when you toggled your presets on and off, maybe.
Yeah. So let me just go back to bullets, and we want the feature, advantage, benefit framework. 5 bullets for the product HubSpot. All right, so there we're getting the bullets. Now the thing is, what I wanted to show is, let's say I wanted to add those 3, right? Those bullets right there. We would did it add it somewhere for me? There they are, right down here. All right. So let's say I didn't like some of these bullets, or I just want a couple of different styles. Now I can say, give me some bullets in the give me some teaser bullets. Right. And I can just say create additional response. Right. And so now I've got teaser. And let's say I add those over. You get it. But I only want to get 2 of them. I can see now I can maybe get some that are curiosity, teaser, etc. So now the whole point is you've got different frameworks for everything that you're doing. And then you build it out all over into here, and you could add images and then build. This demo's over. I'm just going to show you one last thing that you would do with this. Let's say you're writing right here. And you've got this sentence right here, whatever that sentence may be. You might find this sentence to be too confusing, right? Or whatever the case is, you simply highlight the section and look at everything that you can do in the document editor right now. You'll be able to have these features on September 5th when we release this. You'll right-click, right, like this. Let's just go back to this. You'll right-click that document like this, and a menu is going to show up that's going to say rewrite, right? You just didn't like the way it came out. So you don't have to go back to the chat and paste it in. Like you no longer have to do this. Copy, paste, shut off the format and the preset and say rewrite this, right? You can literally just right click and say rewrite this, fix grammar and punctuation, give me more like this. It'll give you more examples for you to choose from, or expand on this and it'll make it more. If it's too verbose, you can say, make this more concise, make it longer, simplify. I might even have things like explain to a 10-year-old, explain to a 15-year-old, right? And then you're going to get things like, imagine ChatGPT was like Lego blocks that you could build it, right? And it'll write it like that, right? Create an outline, create talking points, give an example. All right. So you just told me something. Give me an example. Oh, so imagine blah, 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 right? Create a metaphor. Find a related famous quote, right? And it'll say, and it's related to this. Winston Churchill once said, "A country that doesn't do that," right? And this is always the great stuff that makes your writing better. Make an analogy, right? I'm always using analogies, right? The protein, add protein, chicken, right? So if you want to do that in your writing, it's right click away. Related proverb, related maxim, allegory, parable, aphorism, or the old adage is going to be right there for you. So, Bill, that right there is our first product called Content Copilot. We're coming out with a lot more things coming. This is phase one. We're going to be adding all different types of quick tasks, like upload a video, it'll export your TikToks, Reels, or upload a webinar. So like I have a prompt that literally does this. It's just not in our app yet. But if we go to Groove.ai/Bill, we're going to notice right here that you see these timestamps. These were all written with Groove.ai, but I had to manually do it one at a time. But you're going to be able to upload an entire video, right? Look, we spoke about calculator for words in that webinar like we did today. And it's going to create these timestamps that you put under a video. Bill, I don't know if you know this, but if you put timestamps like this under a webinar replay video, it doubles conversions. Because when somebody comes to your webinar and they're like, what? Are you kidding me? 2 hours and 54 minutes? No way am I going to watch a 3. Just give me that darn demo, right? No, but here you're seeing, oh, okay, you're learning all of these different things, and you could skip at any point and say, okay, oh, here it is, right? Why the knowledge base is a game changer. Oh, I really want to see that part. Oh, the world premiere demo starts at 108. So this is automatically done for you with Groove.ai. But yeah, Bill, that's that. And
that's cool. So you just upload your video and then it gives you a summary with timestamps, basically.
Exactly. And then you paste it. You paste it right on your web page, and you increase conversions. And we're going to have all different little tasks like that for you that are related for digital marketers. But speaking of this slide right here, we're going to go right here, and we're going to tell everybody that if they go to this website right here, Groove.ai/Bill, that's going to take them to this page. Bill, there's one more big surprise I want to let everybody know. So obviously, guys, when you become a backer, there's a little mind map that you could click on. This is going to open up a mind map, and it's going to show you everything that we're building with this platform right here. 90% of it is already built, but like we said, we're adding voice to text, text to voice, text generation, images. But in terms of what you saw, you're getting that September 5th if you become a backer. So what does it take to become a backer? Well, you go right here to the bottom of the page, and you have 2 price options, right? Option number 1 is to pay $897. One time, you're going to own this for life. You'll never make another payment to us. You go to platform.openai. You'll simply click right here, and you're going to click on View API Keys. You're going to click on Create API Key, and then you're going to go here to Billing, and you're going to go to Payment Methods, and you're going to add your credit card on file with OpenAI. And so, Mike, Bill, the question is, how much does it cost to do all of this AI? Guys, listen, you can write a 1,000-word email every single day for a century for $100. So longer than you might live, hopefully we all live past 100, you can send an email every single day for a century for $100. That means a decade will cost you $10. Okay. It is ridiculously cheap to get this. We've been doing AI like you cannot believe. Our total bill over the last 3 months has been like $3.80. All right. So you've got no issue there with your costs. All right. Next, if you want to break that up, for $100 more, right? This is about $1,000 instead of the $897. You can break it up into 2 monthly payments of $497. Let me show you another option right here. Now, pay attention. If you're on your phone, you're gonna be like, "Wait, where did you say that place where I could get it for $250 for 4 payments today?" Well, we've got this little thing here. I don't always show it, but I'm going to with something we do on our live stream, Bill, and it makes it easier for me to show people on our live stream. But for your people, I'm going to show it. There's this little thing under the complete purchase button. It says looking for happy hour. I'm going to give you guys the option to do happy hour pricing. My advice is save the money and go at $897. But if you want the happy hour, you'll click right here, and this little pop-up comes up, and it gives you the option to get it today for $250. It's 4 payments of $250. Okay. So that's up to you. You want to pay $1,000 and break it up over 4 payments? over the next.
I like your hidden happy hour. That's
yeah. Bill, we do live streams, next week, and sometime I'll open it up for 10 minutes. Okay, happy hours for the next 5 minutes. You can get it for $250. I'm going to let your people know that that's there at the bottom. 70% of our people pay in full. They just don't want their product, their credit card, going over, withdrawn in their checking account, and then they don't get access, in September, right? So you want to lock it in, no big deal. 2 payments or 4 payments, up to you. It doesn't matter to me. I'm happy either way. Now, I'm going to talk about the pièce de résistance right now. But before I do that, Bill, I want to let everybody know what we call the consequences, right, of not becoming a backer today, right? Bill is letting you know that you could get this today for 4 payments of $250. Boy, did I just sound like Ron Popeil? For just 4 easy payments of $250. And audience claps, yay, right? So for 4 payments of $250, you'll never pay again. Now, here's the thing. I'm giving you the complete unlocked version that is going to sell for $499 a month. At $99 a month, September 1st, when this backer program is over, this is like allowing you to become like a Kickstarter backer. You're getting the lifetime version. This, in September, is going to sell at $99 a month without a lot of the things I showed you. You only get 3 knowledge bases and no collaboration. You can't invite anybody to a project. It's a solopreneur version. If you want to invite people to a project, that's $299 a month. Every month from now, Mr. Wonderful, Shark Tank, in perpetuity until the end of time. $299 a month. It's a great deal, but why pay $299 a month for the rest of time when you can only pay 4 payments of $250? And at $299, Bill, we only give $25 knowledge bases and the ability to collaborate with 25 people. If you want unlimited knowledge bases and unlimited collaboration, that's going to be $499 a month. So why pay for that, right? Okay, so
that's a lot of that. I want to just let that sink in. That's a lot of value for number one, getting in early and being able to get access to all this stuff like before it's broadly out there, and then the savings that you're giving here. I mean, over the course, like tools like this, I've got tools in my arsenal that I've had for years, and I'm paying monthly. $100, $200, $300 a month. I mean, over the years, I mean. Some of them I've spent tens of thousands of dollars with. And here it's one time and they've got it forever.
Yeah. And Bill, ready? I told everybody about the pièce de résistance, and I also have a free gift for everybody when we're done as well. The pièce de résistance to this is right here. We have an option that you must take today. And I've never felt more proud about this. And I've never sold anything so hard because I feel bad for you if you miss it, right? Because you don't pay anything today. There's no payments for the first 5 months. You don't start paying $497 a month until January. But why would you want to pay $497 a month for anything? Well, what is it? It's your own custom white SaaS label of this. So Bill, yes, if any of your members doesn't want to pay what I pay in developers, which is about, with Artie, who's our partner on here, all of our developers all in, about $30,000 a month. They will be able to get their own white label and get their own domain, and we will map this to their domain, and then they'll be our partner. Let me give you an example.
So they've got a turnkey software company, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So here's Click Designs, right? Mo Latif came out with this pretty cool tool. I loved it so much. Oh, look at that. Andrew Darius from USA just downloaded a box shot. I love this tool so much. I reached out to Mo and I said, hey, can I get a white label of this? He goes, no. I said, why? He goes, well, I don't want anybody competing with me. I said, Mo, I wouldn't be competing with you. I'd basically be like your affiliate that's promoting it all the time. And he goes, oh, so you're not collecting the money. I said, no, I'm not going to do anything. But I created a white label. Let's do this magical thing I can do here by making this go left. And then I'm going to make this right here go right. And I can put them side by side. And I've got something called Groove Designer Pro that many of my users think I created, right? And let me prove it to you. I'm going to click on the login page here. And I'm going to click on the login page here. And I'll tell you another thing. If you're a member of Click Designs, you can log into Groove Designer Pro. If you're a member of Groove Designer Pro, you can log into Click Designs. This is the same login page. It's the same exact thing. Now, Bill, if you were to go into my Groove AI platform, you're going to see a banner here on every 5th load that says, there it is, Groove Designer Pro. I make $11,000 a month. Obviously, I'm a major influencer, right? But I make $11,000 a month with this software, and people think it's mine. Mo does all of the development, support, everything, and he did all the sales copy, everything. So that's the same opportunity that I'm giving for everybody today here with this white label. All right. So let me read you the Q&A, Bill, and I think it's going to answer every question everybody will have. All right. Sure. About the white label, what is it? The Groove.ai white label opportunity allows individuals or businesses to run their own SaaS companies or agencies with the Groove.ai platform branded under their own name, just like I showed you with Groove Designer Pro. You don't do anything but advertise it like you would an affiliate program, but you, quote unquote, are a legal partner of mine. And so therefore, you have legal ownership of that domain and that business. It is a legal business that you could sell. We'll talk about that. How customizable is the white label version? Well, guys, you're going to go in, you're going to put your logo here, you're going to go into the settings, and you're going to say that you want yours to be, in this color, like this. Let's do it like this. And now the projects for your users, when they go in, are going to look like this. All right. It'll match your brand with your logo. All right. And the URL up here is going to say, Bill McIntosh AI, whatever you want it to be. Right. So who handles the back-end process like updates, payments, and support? Groove.ai. We manage all the intricate back-end, including, but not limited to, the development, the updates, the payments, the support, and the refunds. You don't do anything but act like you own a software company. You become my partner. Will I get any tools to customize the software? Yeah, what I just showed you. What are the costs involved? Nothing today. So when you become a backer, you have to become a backer. Just make sure that you tick this box right here. It's free for the first 5 months because the software, the white label, comes out late December, early January. So you'll have the white label before you get charged. All right. That's why we're deferring the payments for 5 months, right? We want to give you something that you're proud of to sell while we do all the support for you. All right. So how are the profits split? This is the best part. As I told you, the prices are going to be $99 a month, $299, and $499 a month. I just told you, you're not going to pay that. You're going to pay 4 payments of $250 or 1 payment of $897. That's up to you. So after the merchant account, the PayPal fee of 3%, right? We're going to split the profits 50-50 because we're partners after the fee. On average, you can expect the average customer between the $299 and the $99 a month to be about $200 a month. And then when we split that, it's $100 per month per customer that you will make. So what is the potential income with a white label? Well, consider the average customer is paying both of us, because we're partners, $200 a month. After a 50-50 split, it's $100 net to you. Now, Bill, I had to do this twice. I was like, no, that's not right. So with just 100 customers, and remember, this is recurring. 100 customers, you're making $10,000 a year. Now, I'm not going to promise you're going to get 100 customers. I don't know if I'm talking to Bill McIntosh or somebody that stumbled across this podcast webinar today, right? That's up to you. But you don't have to do it in a month. You could do it over 3 years, right? Adding, 3 people on a month, you're going to have 36 people on in a year. That's over 100 people in 3 years. How do you do that? You go up to different people and say, hey, I've got a software I'd like to show you. This can work for lawyers, doctors, dentists, right? Anybody. Next, when is the white label access being delivered? January 2024. What happens if I can't maintain my white label? Well, any month that you're in default, we don't send you your profits. And if you're in default, and I haven't made this up yet, I have to figure it out. If you're in default for more than 3 months, we may take over the site or just shut it off or just keep the profits for ourselves. And there'll certainly be a grace period for you if you come back and say, hey, I had a rough time, and you pay us, and we'll just start paying you your profits again. That makes sense, right? You got to pay to play, right? We're putting a lot of money into this. You can basically do what I'm doing and build your own Groove.ai for 30 grand a month, or you can become a partner for half of it at $497 a month, right? I almost wish somebody else did this for me, Bill, right? Can I sell or transfer my white label? Absolutely. Your white label is both transferable and sellable. If you find a buyer, this is a legal business that you could set up an LLC for. And if let's say you got 100 people on the platform, That's going to give you 10 grand a month. That's 120,000 a year. Businesses will sell, SaaS businesses with recurring income, 3 to 4x multiple. So you could sell this for between 300 and 120 times 4, between 300 and almost $500,000 for just 100 customers, right? Is there a limit to how many white labels I can own? You can have only 3, but I don't recommend. You only need 1, right? There are certain people that might want to buy more. You only need 1. Would Groove Digital potentially buy my white label? Where did this question come from? I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with, FAQ using my software, and it came up with this. So I said, yeah, if you have 100 customers and you've had it for more than a year, we may consider buying it if you want to sell. We'll negotiate with you, right? It's not a guarantee. Is there a grace period? Yeah, you don't make any payments today. You'll back it today for $897 or 4 payments of $250, and that means you'll pay August, September, October, November. But your first $497 payment will be in January. So tick that box, because if you decide that you don't want it, you can always cancel, because folks, we're not putting more than 1,000 of these things out there. The reason is, like, if I am McDonald's, I don't want somebody putting a McDonald's across the street from another McDonald's. I want you to be successful, because if you're not going to pay the $497. So not only do I want you to pay the $497, I want you to have 100 customers, because you're going to be making me 10 grand a month and you 10 grand a month. So I'm looking to help you. So yes, this is limited, and we're going to stop offering the white labels after a certain number of units. Does the white label automatically come with Groove.ai? No. You have to become a backer first. And this is for somebody that might have backed the program, Bill. They're watching this going, hey, I backed this thing 3 months ago. No problem. You just go to Groove.ai/white label. You'll pay $497 a month starting in January. But if we see that you haven't become a backer, then we cancel that transaction. All right. So, Bill, we can come back to our faces. That's pretty much everything. I'm just going to show them one more time. You go to Groove.ai/Bill. We're going to release the software for you in like 2 weeks. On the day after Labor Day is September 5th. And we're releasing, there's 5,000 backers that we have in this program. We're going to be releasing 1,250 a day starting Tuesday, September 5th. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By the end of the day Friday, Bill, everybody is going to be receive their full account, and they're going to be able to go in and work on projects just like we showed right here. So that wraps up everything I have to say on what Groove.ai is, what's coming, how to get it, how to get a white label. I think the white label is the best opportunity, to be honest. I think that's really where you want to go.
Well, it's a powerful software business in a box, basically.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
And there was a couple of questions.
Aweber back in the day. I had something called ProSender. Let me just show you something just for giggles here. I don't know which email account I have this to, but I just want to show you this.
Put it back on your screen.
Yeah. Aweber. I don't know if it's this. Okay, look at this, Bill. I'm still getting commissions from Aweber from my ProSender account, which I stopped promoting in 2009, and I'm still making $248, and they pay me biweekly. I'm making $500 a month with a white label that was called ProSender. I also had a white label called you can send it back to us now. I had a white label for one shopping cart back in the day called My Online Shopping Cart. I think white labels are a great way for somebody to, especially if you like to train, and then you could create training courses around this, and then sell this as your membership. Like say, hey, my training program is $99 a month, and you get the free AI platform with it. It's a great way to position your training.
Yeah, right on. Well, Mike out there has a question for you, and it's funny because he kind of answered his own question. So, but I'll pose it to you. So, there's a lot of like fly-by-night software. We see these launches, sometimes low-ticket launches, or all kinds of different software launches. And people will launch a tool, and you jump in early, you're back in the tool, and then about 90 days later, they're out of business. And so the question was, like what happens in that scenario? And before you answer that, I just want to tell you guys, and Mike then goes on to talk about how he bought Butterfly Marketing from you, which was 19 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think the question is answered by yourself. So
17 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike has been selling software for close to 2 decades. And and supporting it for close to 2 decades. And I can tell you the Groove team, it isn't just like Mike in his basement, right? This is a large company behind the Groove launch. This is not just this is not just one guy in his basement doing a product launch. This is
in case you don't know about me, because most of you may not, right? They say if you don't know, you don't know, right? So I am the creator of the 4th largest webinar platform in the world, still going strong today. I created Webinar Jam, right? I am the founder, and it came out of my brain right here, of one of, if not the first, automated webinar platform to ever exist. And not only that, I created the most popular automated webinar platform by far today called EverWebinar. That was my product. It's still out there. I created another company called Kartra. Kartra is one of the most popular platforms. Now, I had a partner, Andy Jenkins. We got along great as friends, not as partners. So I wasn't happy. I asked for a buyout. That business is still in business today. Very, very strong. I had a 2-year non-compete. I came back to create a better Kartra. And that's what Groove.cm is. And I added a Shopify component. I added the Webinar Jam, the automated webinar, EverWebinar component, and I created an all-in-one platform, and then even added things like a blogging platform that one didn't have. This company, we do, I don't want to say multiple 8 figures a year, but we're getting close to that. We're about to close on an $11 million cash investment at a $55 million valuation for 50% of our company. We think in about 2.5 years, we're going to be valued about $250 million, and we're only going to take sell another 10% for $25 million at that time. Knock on wood, should we get there. Now, I want you to know this. Here I am. I'll show you, maybe another camera angle right here. Not the best of me, but this is my 4,000 square foot studio. I live on the 6th floor in a nice luxury townhouse condo. So my commute is my elevator. I'm here in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm gonna. If I could live forever, I'll live forever here. But I say this to you because I want you to know I'm about 6 months younger than Steve Jobs was when he passed away. Okay, and if you could ever imagine somebody coming up to Steve Jobs and saying, "Hey, we want to buy Apple," and Steve would be like, "What are you talking about? I live in a simple house, and like if I didn't have Apple, what am I going to do with myself?" When I sold Genesis Digital in 2016 at a 2-year non-compete. This weight, I put on 30 pounds, only 10 of it has come off. At that time, I started smoking. Thank God I quit. I was the guy that was asking if you saw things on Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime. Like I was watching every Netflix documentary and staying up until 9 a.m. with a beard. And my wife would come in with friends and I'd run upstairs because I didn't shower for a day. And she'd be like, "What's the matter with you?" I'm like, "You should have let me know somebody was coming." Why? You can't let a human into the house because I was a wreck. I realized that I do not ever want to retire. I don't ever want to sell this company. I get, when I say all the time, about 6 to 9 times a year, I get something from some venture capital. "Hey, we want to blah, blah, blah." So I get on the phone with them. I say, "Hey, before we go any further, I want to let you know, I'm not built to flip. I'm not 23 years old. I'm going to be around forever. And I'm building a company that if it's going to make me money, why would I sell it?" So I said, if what you're looking to do is take ownership at 51%, or you want to buy my company outright or take me on a 3-year journey and double my money in 3 years, I said, I'm not interested. And they're like, "Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, that's what we do. We round up tech companies, and that's not me. Guys, I'm going to be here forever with you, right? Look, I can't say if somebody offers me $1 billion, I'm not going to cash out, right? In 5 years from now, God willing, right? But my goal, one of my mentors, he's on the board of directors of this company. His name is Jeff Hoffman. He is the co-founder of Booking.com and Priceline.com. He said to me, he never wanted to sell that company. He never did. He's like, he had a cash cow. Why sell it? Why sell it for billions? Like he loved, that particular company. He's on the board of Groove Digital. So it's a great question that you asked. That's a wonderful concern, but I can let you know that this product that we're building, this is like, you try to picture Steve Jobs getting bought from Apple. It's not going to happen. At 55 years old, I don't know what I would do without this company.
Yeah. Well, and I can say
Long-
too, Mike, from like an outside point of view, looking, been watching you build Groove over the last few years and watching you support it, and it's been evolving, new features being added constantly. You guys are hands on, and really working this project. So I just so everybody knows, I know that Mike is all in on this, and you don't have to worry about the software
That's
going
Filsaime
somewhere.
about you, Bill. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to,
And
you guys don't have
Joanne
to worry about
Kaplan,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joanne, for jumping in there with us.
Yeah. And awesome. So bottom line is the software's here for the long haul. Mike and his entire team, he's got a large team supporting it, improving it, putting new features in continuously. So you're in good hands with Mike. And then Zally had a question about the white label. When people get the white label, are you going to provide any tips or training or on how to market their white label company?
I completely forgot. I brushed over this when I said the tools that they get. I didn't read the paragraph. So we are creating an entire brand website for you in 6 different colors. There'll be a dark theme, a light theme, a purple, a yellow, a bright, et cetera, so that all of these don't look the same. And we're going to give you a link that you can import it on Groove Pages, which is free to create an account. So you'll get free hosting for a website with multiple pages. We're going to create a video for you. It's going to have a generic logo that it'll just be like a dot that people won't notice, right? And what we're also going to do is we're going to give you that actual video so that you could pull it into Final Cut or Premiere and add your logo and re-export it, right? We're actually going to even provide you with the script. So where it says, with this powerful software, right? If you wanted to say, your little puppies back there, if let's say your product is called, copilot.ai or something, I'm just saying, right? Then you could redo the voiceover and go, with copilot.ai, marketing answers online. I'm already in since April 15th. Appreciate it. But yes, we're going to also provide you with videos, funnels, one funnel, and a brand website that you can sell this. So you're going to be ready to go. We're going to have the checkout page set up for you and everything. And we're going to collect all the money, and we're going to pay you every single month on 50% of all the sales that are made at your website. And there's no affiliate
like
cookies.
getting traffic or getting customers to that platform. Is that what will you be doing with teaching them that? Yeah.
Quite frankly, Bill, and somebody should know this, that they may need to rely on you or something like that. We're not going to go out and teach anybody any marketing on how to market their white label. Okay. We are letting anybody know that as an entrepreneur, the ability to sell the white label is going to be based on your reach, right? Bill, I'm sure you'll have a white label, right? If you have a white label, I can imagine it'll be easy for you to sell, right? But there are billions of people on this planet, right? And just like I have to compete every day with Jasper, Copy.ai, Writer, all of these different platforms, all I can tell you is that nobody in the world knows about these products. What happens is when you demo, they buy. You don't start thinking, how am I going to compete with Bill and Mike? It doesn't work like that. What you have to realize is that even me and Bill, every day we go out and we find new customers. So that's what you're going to do is you're going to go out, find somebody and say, hey, what kind of business do you run? Can I show you something on a Zoom call? Look, and they're going to see your logo and they're going to be like, did you create this? And you have the right to say, yes, I created this with my partners. And that is a legal statement because we are legal partners. And yes, this is my business. My partners and I created this platform, and you can demo this. And whether they're a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, whatever, any content creator, blogger, I can assure you, most people are not going to have seen this. When they see it, they buy it. That's how well it demos.
Cool. Well, I can say, one of the things that I'll add in here is that, I'm always doing training on how to get customers. So you get how to get traffic, how to get customers. And so if you join the white label and you want some feedback from me on advice on how to get some additional traffic or how to, how do you get people to come to your white label to get a demo and buy it? I certainly will, I'm always doing training on that, and you can request it at any point. And, we can take that up and I can help them with that. Yeah.
maybe January, Bill, you and I, when we release the white label, we'll find all the people that bought the white label through you, and then we'll do a little session like this, and we'll give them tips on how you and I find traffic for our software companies.
Well, and the other thing is, I think they're going to find that it's, how do I want to say this? I want to be careful about how I say this, but I think you'll find it's easier than you might expect. Finding traffic for a software company is the same as finding traffic for just about any kind of the standard strategies and techniques that you would use to promote a business-to-business software company are basically the same as almost anything else, whether it's an info product or a course or an e-commerce product. The same kinds of traffic strategies will work for this. So, but as far as, wanting a little tweaks and nuances of how you promote a software company, that'd be great. I'd love to jump on and do a session.
Yeah. It's folks, at this point, basically what you do is you create video demos and you put them on Facebook, right? And say, hey, if you like this, and then you could buy ads on Facebook the same way I would, and get a voiceover done. And it's like, with this exciting new AI platform, you can now blah, blah, blah. And then people click, they go to your website, they buy.
Well, it's how easy this is. So the demo line, I think, is very easy because I've got a friend of mine who at this point has an outsourcer. He's got a Filipino outsourcer who he has a small software company, and that Filipino outsourcer does the demos and people just buy. So he doesn't even have it's not him doing the demos. He's not selling. He doesn't have an expensive qualified salesperson. It's just a Filipino outsourcer who speaks decent English, reads a script, shows them something on the screen, and people are buying. So it can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's see here. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, well, Zally's saying that would be a nice bonus. So we'll definitely do that, Zally.
Okay.
So yeah. Jump in and grab it through my link, and then we'll circle back when the white label is launched and do some special training on that. Awesome. So then, Mike, I want to really thank you for spending the time. I know right in the middle of a launch, your schedule has got to be insane. So setting aside the time to be here, I'm greatly appreciative. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm just taking a quick look. Just bear with me just one second.
And then I don't know how much longer we're going to have Mike here.
All right,
so,
Bill.
Yeah,
Bill, I just want to say a congratulations to, let's see, that would be Danny Swanger. We got Danny. Oh, the Job Crush always cracks me up that you have that domain. That's awesome. And Joanne Kaplan and Faram Reham. There's a few of you that we're seeing are going through the checkout process as we speak right now. So just check the shopping cart for the three of you. Wanted to give you guys a shout out while the rest of you are checking out. So Bill, I want to thank you so much for having me in front of your folks here. Love the stuff you're doing with AI. I think your stuff and our stuff is like, Reese's peanut butter, cup.
I agree.
They go great together. Yeah.
Well, at first I was like a little weirded out by because in some ways, some of our tool has similarities in some little places and then a lot of differences in others. And I wasn't sure. And then, you started promoting our stuff and it just was selling like crazy.
Yeah.
So, I think they do. So I agree with you. I wasn't sure at first, but now I'm all in. I think that our tools go really great together.
Yeah.
So if you own Push Button AI and you're not sure, grab Groove too. I think you'll be able to make effective use of both of them. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Bill, for having me here, and have a great weekend. And Bill, I just want to say, man, you look great. You look great. I'm so happy to see you looking. I hope you feel as good as you look. You're looking. Really
I do. Thank you. And likewise, man. Likewise. Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, thanks once again, and we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.